Hello everyone. Today we will learn regarding continuous portion of terminology. In last few lectures we have seen positions of the body, planes, terms, anatomical terms, then joints, term used to describe the joints, then bony features. Today we will learn regarding term used to describe the blood vessels. Anatomical terminology can be asked for 2 marks. Okay. Arteries, vessels that carry oxygenated blood away from the heart. Veins, vessels that carry deoxygenated blood away from the heart. Anastomosis, this is new terminology for you. Communication between branches of arteries and tributaries of veins. In this diagram you can see anastomosis around the knee joints. In short, network like structure between tributaries of veins and artery. Okay. End artery, its name suggests there will be no further branches of that artery. An artery whose terminal branches do not anastomosis with the branches of the artery supplying the adjacent area. Let me see. End artery. Okay. In first diagram there is they have done ligature. Okay. So it will be end artery for that subject. In second diagram they have done ligature at upper portion, but though that portion can receive supply from the bypass of that artery or vein. Okay, you can see end artery in first, no overlap in area of supply. In second diagram, anastomosis, alternative route of supply. By arrow marks you can see. Example, central artery of retina causes blindness. Branches of cerebral arteries in brain causes infarction, stroke of brain. Arteries in kidney and liver causes infarction. Okay. In this diagram, also in Viva, one can ask that 3 layers of artery: tunica, intima, media, and externa. Okay. Veins can be categorized into 4 main types: pulmonary, systemic, superficial, and deep veins. Pulmonary veins carry oxygenated blood from the lungs to the left atrium of the heart. Systemic vein return oxygen depleted blood from the rest of the body to the right atrium of the heart. Superficial veins are located close to the surface of the skin and are not located near a corresponding artery. Deep veins are located deep within muscle tissue and are typically located near corresponding artery within the same name, for example coronary artery and veins. Okay, according to their region. This diagram shows the circle of Willis in brain. Okay. Anastomosis, large huge anastomosis in brain. Okay. Vena commitans, 2 veins that accompany an artery. Okay. In short, okay, this is the diagrams of vena commitans, 2 veins accompany with artery. Okay. Accompany all the major arteries and their branches. Usually they are paired. They are contained within the vascular sheath of the artery, whose pulsation help to compress and move during exercise, blood received from the veins. This is the importance of the vena commitans, okay, whose pulsation help to compress and move during the exercise, and blood received from the veins, okay. Now sinusoids, small thin walled blood vessels, capillary, with irregular lumen lined by endothelial cells. Example, liver sinusoids. Okay, liver sinusoids example diagram. Small thin blood vessels. Collateral circulation, anastomotic alternate pathway through which the blood can reach the blood field of the distribution of the main artery if it is blocked. Okay, we have seen the circle of Wiley in brain. In short, if there is block in any artery, there are so many alternative supply, so it doesn't allow to infract the brain, okay, until it receive from the collateral circulation supply, okay. Capillaries, microscopic vessels forming a network through which the arterioles, smallest arteries, discharge blood into smallest tributaries of veins. Example, nasociliary branches. In severe rhinitis, wire sneezing, etc., sometimes we get a little bit amount of blood with sputum or nasal discharge. So don't worry, at that time there will be rupture of nasociliary branches of veins, okay, capillaries. Capillary diagram. Now term used to describe nerve and associated structures. Nerve, whitish cord consisting of large number of exceeding fine filaments called nerve fibers bound together in bundles by fibrous tissue. Now flexus, braided structure resulting from network of nerve fibers. Braided word meaning is ambodo in Gujarati, okay. It means network like structure. Brachial plexus, sacral plexus. Ganglion, connection of nerve cells outside the CNS. Neuron cell diagram. Brachial plexus. Okay, dorsal root ganglion, ventral root spinal nerve. Nucleus, collection of nerve cells within the CNS. Ganglion, collection of nerve cells outside the CNS. Nucleus, within the CNS, okay. Now term used to describe fascia. Superficial fascia, a mixture of loose areolar and adipose tissue lying deep to the dermis of the skin. Second, dermis, epidermis, okay. Then again its type: stratum corneum, lucidium, granulosum, spinosum, etc., okay. Now what is deep fascia? Dense inelastic membrane investing structure deep to the superficial fascia. It sends septa between the muscle group. So by this deep fascia, in in arm region or forearm region, there are flexor of anterior compartment muscles, or posterior compartment flexor compartment muscle, then extensor compartment muscle, okay. So in short, fascia forms septa between the muscle group. In this diagram you can see skin, superficial adipose tissue, and reticular cutis, superficialis, superficial fascia, deep adipose tissue, multilayer structure of deep fascia, loose connective tissue, and muscle. Fibrous sheath derive from deep fascia to form sheath around the tendon. Okay, fibrous sheath derive from deep fascia to form around the tendons, while retinaculum thickening of deep fascia that retains the underlying tendons in the positions. Here we can see fibrous flexor sheath thickening of derived from deep fascia. Okay, whereas flexor retinaculums thickening of deep fascia which retains the tendons of the muscles. Flexor retinaculum. Now term used to describe muscles. Belly, fleshy contractile part of the muscles. Belly. Tendon, fibrous non-contractile cord-like part of the muscles. Okay, tendon. Aponeurosis, in short, flattened tendon, flat sheet of collagen fibers extending from muscle to its attachment on bone. In this diagram you can see tendon, belly. Okay, raphe, stretchable fibrous band made of interrigitating fibers of the tendons of or aponeurosis. Raphe, perennial raphe, stretchable fibrous band formed by the interdigiting fibers band. In this diagram, fibrous flexor sheath, tendon of palmaris longus, now what is ligament? A band of connective tissue that connects bone to bone. Band of connective tissue that connects bone to bone. In this diagram, knee joint ligament, MCL, medial collateral ligament, and lateral collateral ligament. Okay, that connects bone to bone. Origin, the end of muscle which is relatively fixed during its contraction. Insertion, the end of muscle which is moves during its contraction. You have to remember these words. Bursa, sac of connective tissue filled with synovial fluid found where the tendon slides over the bone. In this diagram you can see origin, which will be fixed during its contraction movement, and insertion, it will be movable during its contraction movement. Bursa, a sac fluid filled fluid bag to prevent friction between bone and tendon. Okay, in this diagram you can see iliopsoas bursa, synovial sheath of tendons, similar to bursae in structure, consisting of double layer synovial membrane tubes surrounding the tendons. Okay, synovial flexor sheath. Now, term used to describe lymph node and lymph vessels. Lymph node, a firm gland-like structure varying in size from pinhead to large vein. Okay, axillary lymph node. In this diagram, swollen lymph node. Lymph vessels, fine beaded tubes containing clear fluid found in large numbers in tissue adjacent to epithelial surface, namely skin, alimentary and respiratory tract. Fine beaded tubes containing clear fluid. Okay, lymph tubes. Okay, lymph vessels. Now last portion is remain, that is applied aspect of the terminology, uh, like bursitis, okay, appendicitis, appendicectomy, etc., that we will see in last lecture of terminology. Thank you everyone.